What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. It's been a week. It's been a long week. So I don't know about you guys, my family's been out of town all week. And so I have been super hyperactively working on the Who Dig review that should be coming out here in about 2 to 3 weeks. I'm about to send all of the footage over to Isaac, my editor. He's going to do his magic with the cinematic sequences and everything. Then he's going to ship it back over to me, and I'm going to remaster the audio and dial it in and make it just good. And then we are going to officially release our first ever equipment review for this channel. I'm super excited. I think we did a fantastic job. Not that I'm biased or anything, but I do. I think we did. I think we nailed it. I'm going to be honest. But that being said, super excited, but it's been a super busy week. So let me know in the comments, how has your week been? We got Megan Kelly doing the countdown for us. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I don't know if I've seen you in here before, Megan. So thank you for joining the live stream. We got Lever Monkey, Shane in here. What's going on, Shane? Good to see you, man. Megan, I just said hello. Shane, hello again. Ryan Wagner, hello. We got Lee Rodriguez. Hey everyone, looking to get an excavation license for the state of Florida without getting a general contractor's license. Does anyone know how I can obtain one? I don't, because I'm not from Florida, but if we got any people in here that are from Florida, let us know how you can get an excavation license separate from a general contractor's license. I would think at the end of the day, you should be able to go to, excuse me, I'm sorry, I've taken like one sip of scotch and I've already got the hiccups going on. We'll see how this live stream goes. But let's see here. You should be able to go to, I would think, any of your municipal office. I'm trying to think of what municipal office it would be, like the zoning and planning office or something like that, and they would at least be able to give you some direction on that. I'm not really sure. But that being said, I also want to give a special shout out to Darren. You guys know him as ooh, this is embarrassing because my mind just totally went blank. Sweet Jesus, landscape that's the kind of week it's been. I can't even Landmark Property Solutions. Sweet Jesus, Brian. Darren, drive safe, man. I know you're on the road. He is listening live from the road. He shot me a message beforehand. I appreciate you listening, man, but seriously, drive safe. Don't look at your phone. Put it down. Handle the wheel. 2 hands on the wheel, my friend. 2 hands. Andrew, you made it, but that was cutting it close. I mean, you were within like the 30-second countdown. Certified Wrench, ladies and gentlemen, we have Colton McCormack in the house from the world famous, world renowned Certified Wrench podcast. If you haven't heard of it, you should check out iTunes, Spotify, Google Music, probably Amazon Music to listen to Colton McCormack and his excellent Chef's Kiss podcast. I'm telling you, it's worth it. Absolutely. Hey, Colton, thank you for showing up. Tell your wife I said hello. On to the comments. We got Toby Thompson. Howdy, what's going on? Howdy. That's a southern. Whew. We got a Texas boy in here. That's awful southern. Andrew, it was one hell of a week. Dude, I'm hearing, like, we're starting to really get full on into the swing of the season now. So I hear you when you say it's been one hell of a week. We got Bomber T in the house. What's going on, man? Rex Sherburne had to cut out early on Friday. That's how my week went. Sounds like fun. Shane, tinnitus is acting up, so all I hear is a solid tone. You know what, Shane? Maybe I'm just messing with you. Maybe I've got a solid tone gently playing in the background here, because I do have my mixer right here at my fingertips. Is it me or is it you? That's the question. Toby, in Saskatchewan, Canada, I've got my skid steer loader and compactor ticket through a company with Train the Trainer. Started as a laborer. I didn't really understand the last part of that, but it sounds like you were a trainer, maybe? I don't know. But anyway, thank you for showing up, Toby. I appreciate you, man. We got Bomber. Brian, don't you think if autonomous equipment comes around, we will be the ones setting it up and running it? Doesn't make sense to pay a programmer more than an operator. 100%. So I actually, if you guys don't follow Equipment World on YouTube here, you should go check that out. I host a show for them called The Dirt, and this past week I actually interviewed someone specifically on autonomous equipment. The company name was Built Robotics. It's a really cool setup. So they will take a traditional excavator. They have a bolt-on package that takes no longer than a day to install, and it will take a regular excavator and it will turn it into a fully autonomous trenching machine. So once they install the package, obviously you're going to have an operator that gets trained on how to actually program the machine. But that's his job, is to program the machine and tell it all of the schematics of the dig, and then tell it to go, and then he has to monitor it and make sure it's doing what it's supposed to. It's not getting outside the parameters of the dig. So all of that to say, that was a huge topic of our conversation, because that's a huge concern in the industry right now, is will autonomous equipment replace us? And the answer is no, it's not going to replace us. There's still, and I did confirm my suspicions, but there are still, the vast majority of jobs on a dirt site cannot be automated. You can't automate someone digging mainline with guys in the hole. You can't automate digging for utilities. You can't automate doing really fine grader and dozer work. You can't automate doing super heavy slope work in a dozer. I mean, even with some of your more intensive cuts, you're gonna have a hard time automating a dozer to do it, just because of the dynamics at play. And so all of that to say, not only will we still have a ton of jobs that will require an actual operator in the seat, but you're exactly right, we will have to have operators being trained up. Now, you will have to learn some new skills, but you have to have operators being trained up to actually program this equipment to do what it's supposed to do. And then you're going to have to pay the same operator or different operators. You know, the way I envision this, if I could look into my crystal ball 20 years from now, the way I envision this is, you've probably got a job site trailer that is air conditioned. It's pretty high tech. You've got 4 or 5 stations inside the trailer with probably 10 or 15 screens all in front of them, and you got 4 or 5 guys in the trailer, and that is the total amount of manpower for that job site for running equipment. All of the machines that can be autonomous are being monitored by those 3, 4, 5 guys from the job site trailer. They're actively monitoring each 5 to 10 pieces of equipment, and that way they can make sure that everything's running the way it's supposed to, everything's within the regular parameters. And if anything starts to go wonky, they can very quickly tap a button, they can take over that machine, they can adjust whatever they need to, they can manually run it if they need to manually get through something for a minute, and then they click their button and it goes back to being autonomous, and they're able to babysit the rest of their machines. That's kind of the way I envision a futuristic job site. You've still got a ton of manual labor going on, you've still got a ton of operators actually in the seats out there, but you know, I don't know, 50% of the tasks are being automated and monitored by a handful of operators. That's kind of the way I see this going. It's not just gonna totally, you know, do away with operators. For every job that is done away with having an operator in the field, there will be another job that opens up in another aspect. So yeah, you might not be an operator anymore. You might be considered a programmer, or you might be considered a technician, an autonomous machine technician. I don't know what that is, but there's still going to be a ton of jobs out there. So I'm in total agreement, Bomber. You're going to have operators still. Toby, supervisor was a trainer, I meant. Okay, I got you. Okay, good deal. Ryan, what's going on, Ryan Garrett? Hey, how's it going? We had one hell of a week, working an hour and a half away from home. Sprained my ankle. Uh-oh. Another guy went to the ER with breathing problems. Another guy quit. We had 4 breakdowns between 3 pieces of equipment. Well, that sounds like a daggum exciting week there, Ryan. I apologize that was your kind of week. That's not so fun. Andrew, no, the skid steer dozer guy never did contact me. So, you know, bug him again. At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal if he doesn't reach out. I don't take it personally, but I have not heard from him so far. Shane, so was it you that watched and commented on my video, or your wife? That was me, I believe. I don't know, because my wife has been doing some stuff behind the scenes, so it could have been her, but I think it was me. Most of the time it's me commenting on your video, Shane. So in theory, autonomous equipment will only add more work for us. So I don't know that I would go that far that you're gonna have more job openings, Bomber. But I can see where maybe the workforce decreases by 30% across the board. I don't think it's going to be 50. I don't think it's going to be more than, certainly not more than 50. Maybe the job requirements or the labor requirements decrease by 30% or so. But you have to think we're already in a situation where we don't have that 30%. That's why everyone's looking for people. And that's honestly kind of the way I see this. Is it's not so much that we're going to have a bunch of people losing their jobs. Right now, we have this as a need, and we have for operators, and we have this as the given number of operators. And where I see AI technology is, instead of this number going up or down, the number of operators you have available, instead this number, the number required, comes down, and they start to meet here. And it's not so much operators in seats at this point. You've got a mix of people monitoring equipment, people programming the equipment, and actual operators in the seats. That's kind of the way I see this playing out. It's not going to, we're not going to see this massive layoff in the construction industry because all of a sudden a dozer gets automated or an excavator gets automated. There's already automated equipment. They're actively running completely autonomous rollers over in Germany. I know that for a fact. You've already got completely autonomous dozers on some job sites doing some grading. You've already got companies like Built Robotics that are working exclusively with excavators in certain trenching applications, and they're totally autonomous. Yet, have you heard one single news story of someone losing their job over this yet? No, because the demand for operators is just too stinking high. We're never gonna get there. I should say we're never going to get there. What I should say is we're not going to get there in the next 5 years with AI technology. I think we'd be lucky to get there in the next 10 years with AI technology, because that's a whole other aspect of this. Is you have to think the complexities of running a piece of autonomous equipment versus the complexities of running an autonomous car down a very clear highway. Like, running on a job site is significantly more difficult. You don't have stripes. You don't have all of these markings and indications of where the vehicle needs to be. That's challenge number one. Challenge number two, all the car needs to do is regulate its speed, versus, let's talk about a dozer for a second. Now you have to monitor the load of the blade. You have to monitor the depth of the cut. You have to monitor where it's at in the world, because it's got to be in the area that you've designated, and you've got to be able to follow those cut lines. Like, there's a ton of complexity in just automating a dozer. Talk about an excavator. Are you going to have to bench the trench, or is it going to be a straight cut? What do you have as far as topography behind you? How is the machine going to, is it going to level itself? How is that going to work? There's just so much more complexity to that than there is driving a car down the road. And where are we at with autonomous cars? I bet we're still easily 10 years away from having a significant increase in autonomous vehicles on the roads. Again, this is all my personal speculation. I don't have the real answers, but that's kind of my thought process when I think about this whole thing. Let's see here. We got Albert. What's going on, Albert? Everything is good up here in Michigan. We had some really nice weather this week, and then it gave way to rain over the last 2 days. So, it is what it is. But we're at least starting to hit the 80s consistently up until this coming week, when we're supposed to be back in the 60s. But it's Michigan. What can you do? Merrick, what's going on? Gonna be a great week. Got a basement to dig tomorrow, and it's gonna be awesome. Thanks to iDig. So Merrick, if you guys aren't aware, M. Miller here in the comments is the same Merrick that I went and worked with down in Ohio on, well, let's see here. Last year it was the lot regrade where there was a shale pit that we filled in, and then this spring I went down there, and you may have seen some of the live videos. We were down there working on a giant tunnel project, which, stay tuned on the channel because that footage is coming. It's coming, guys. And it was a freaking sweet project. They just finished out the pond on that project too, which is really awesome. And those guys actually ended up buying an iDig system based off of my recommendation, which I appreciate. I am grateful that you guys actually listen to my advice, I guess you could say. But honestly, it's a great system. Like, that has nothing to do with me. So anyway, they get to finally put the iDig system to work really on a basement, so that is exciting. I think it'll work really well for you guys. We got Jackson in the house. What's going on, Jackson? Good to see you, man. Thanks for the t-shirt. Absolutely. The chick on the front of the shirt is hella hot. I don't even need to. There you go, Jackson. You can ride off Timber Vixen. You got your own sexy lady on the shirt. Which, if you don't know what he's talking about, head over to dieselandironproductions.com, click on the store tab, and you will see my new shirt design that features an attractive lady on it. Sex sells, right? That's how this world works. Luca, what's going on? I don't know that I've seen you in the comments before, but I appreciate you being here. And if you have been here before, I appreciate you commenting. Appreciate it. Bomber, do you think the unions will teach us to program this autonomous equipment, or are we going to have to go to college to be a programmer? So this is such a delicate conversation. I think the unions are going to fight this tooth and nail. I think there's going to be lawsuits. I think there's going to be a lot of animosity and bad blood over autonomous machines. I think it's going to be a lot of, I think you're going to see some ugliness come out of the union over autonomous equipment, unfortunately. So that being said, they're probably going to be slow to adapt and slow to move over into the training side. I would love for them to surprise me. I really would. I truly would love for them to surprise me. But my gut and history tells me that that's probably not going to be the case. So my thought is it's probably, I don't think you're going to have a degree to go do this. More than likely what's going to happen is you're going to have a company like Built Robotics that manufactures the autonomous equipment. They will come out and they will actually have training programs that your employer will send you through. They will kind of have their own classes on their own ecosystem that will get you familiar with how to program, how to activate the autonomous, how to take it back over manual mode, how to troubleshoot, all of that stuff. So I would put it more on par with using GPS. In a dozer or something. You're going to get training from the manufacturers. You're not going to have to go get a degree in this. So that's kind of the way I foresee it going down. Shane, we had a labor take a sheet of plywood to the back of the head. Ooh, went through his hard hat and split his head open. 8 staples later, he was joking about it. That's boy, good thing he was wearing his hard hat, because that would have been death. So there's your safety tip for the week or the month or even the year. So Ryan, and we're going back up north this week with half our crew likely being new, and we're approaching being a week over schedule, so things are getting pretty tense. Well, it sounds like you're getting your feet wet real quick over there at the new job, Ryan. So if you guys didn't know, Ryan just got this new position. So it sounds like he's really getting thrown to the wolves there. That's good stuff. It's good stuff. Andrew, you missed out on the OnlyFans opportunity. I'm making one tonight. Excavator content, barge content, all the good stuff, but with my chick, because nobody wants to just see me. Are you and the chick going to be doing things in the cab of these machines, or is it just you're going to have a chick out there in the cab of the machines? Andrew, we need to know the facts here. In fact, I bet Jackson would probably be the first to sign up. So I've heard people have fallen asleep in robotic cars and then they've gotten into a crash and died. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have stuff like that happen. I think consistently. It's, you know, technology is never gonna be perfect. You're still 20, 30, 40 years from now, you're still gonna be having autonomous car accidents for various reasons where things glitch and screw up. Now, if you look at overall automobile statistics, I guarantee you it will be far safer and far less problematic than having people at the wheel, but you're never going to have a perfect system. Bobby Rabaglia, what's happening, man? Good to see you. Good day, good evening, everyone. Weather in here in Washington State is still drunk. Mid to low 50s for the high and low 30s for the low. It sounds a lot like Michigan. We hit the 80s all week this week. Now we're getting a series of storms through, and I think our max temperature for this week is like in the mid 60s. We just can't win. We can't break into official spring yet. We got Killer Rob. What's happening, man? Thanks for showing up to the live stream. Appreciate it. Toby, I ran an excavator and a dozer for 3 months off and on, and the supervisor didn't think I was safe enough on the machine, so I haven't obtained my hoe and dozer ticket yet, but all of the courses and training. What specifically were you doing that he didn't think was safe? Just out of curiosity. Jackson, Brian, did you hear Trevor Stannard from death metal band The Black Dahlia murderer passed away just this past week? He was only 41 years old, committed suicide. Did not hear that. I've got to be honest, I don't follow many heavy metal bands, but that is pretty tragic. I mean, suicide is, that's a rough deal. It's a rough deal. Toby Thompson was through HCAS Saskatchewan, only certification for Saskatchewan. Also have 1 and 2 hoisting and rigging and so on. Okay, so you're starting in on the hoisting side. I think I've got both of those classes, and I took one of the crane classes, but I can't remember which one. Can't remember I don't remember. It's been too long. It's been like 6 years, so I don't remember. Ryan, and to think all of this is happening and I'm only the restoration crew. I was the only operator on Friday because the other one was in the hospital, and so I got to show what I could do in a mini. Hey, those are the situations where you go from being the rookie new guy to all of a sudden you're on the A-star team because you get one day to shine, and if you do your job correctly, there you go. Sounds like you might be moving up in the world, Ryan, a lot quicker than you thought. Ooh, excuse me. Bomber, thanks, Brian. I really appreciate your knowledge. I don't see autonomous excavators ever working around utilities. And that's the thing, Bomber. So first of all, thank you for the kind words. But that's it. You've got so many things in the ground that these machines are not going to be able to locate just entirely on their own. And I can't really foresee a robot being able to do that autonomously. Like, you have to have someone in the cab that knows how to undermine the material and actually locate those utilities. That's always going to be an operator's job. That's never going to be a computer doing that. So, you know, my current just kind of catch-all answer to should we worry about AI is no, not for the next 20-ish years. I would say you don't have to worry about anything. And even at the 20-year mark, I still think we're all going to be just fine. Ryan, and the foreman was really happy when he got back and said he would talk to the superintendent about me. So there it is, Ryan, you're working your way up, and it's happening a lot quicker than you thought. That's good. That's good. Toby, on a big potash tailings hill, ground disturbance. See, I don't know anything about that. You're getting into the world of quarry and mines, and I don't know jack crap about that side of the industry. So I don't even know what to tell you on ground disturbance as far as being safe or not. We've got Yul Perez. I hope I pronounced your first name right, from Panama. What's going on? Thank you for joining us from Panama. That's awesome. I love getting people from other countries on the channel. It's just awesome to know how far this channel reaches. Because right now, as a prime example, I'm sitting in my basement in Michigan talking to a guy in Panama. That's freaking awesome. Maybe Phil's out there somewhere in Australia, the land down under. Phil, diehard Phil, who has been here from the beginning. Yeah, like, it's freaking awesome that from my basement here in Little Dinky Town, Michigan, I'm able to reach across the globe. That is super cool. So, Mr. Perez, thank you for joining us this evening. I do appreciate that. Jackson, is there a way to set up like a guide wire system or something like that for an autonomous machine? I mean, once you start putting guide wires and stuff in place, Jackson, you kind of lose all of the like benefits of having an AI machine. Now you're having to worry about wires all over the job site. You got and I would never do that on a job site because you got overhead obstructions you have to worry about. So, yeah, I don't know. We got to pick it up in the comments, guys. My goodness. Hey, we're slowly working up. We had a soft start here. There weren't very many people, and we're up to 22. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. By the way, guys, we need to have a serious, like, heart-to-heart here. The live stream, we've been doing this for like a year now, and our numbers are fairly consistent across the board. And I blame you for that. Yes, you heard me correctly. You're not telling enough of your friends that we have this awesome channel, specifically that we have this awesome live stream that happens every Sunday night, and specifically that your friend should join the awesome live stream. So I'm not going to take any responsibility for the lack of growth here. I'm going to put all of that on you guys because that's just easier for me. So let's get the word out, ladies and gentlemen. Tell your friends. While you're at it, go over there, purchase some swag at dieselandironproductions.com, because as Jackson stated, we have a new sexy lady shirt that you need to go check out. And then while you're at that, you know what? on your way to work tomorrow, flip over to Spotify, flip over to Apple iTunes, flip over to Google or Amazon Music, and listen to Sweat and Grime, which is our podcast that's geared towards you guys, the guys in the seats, the framing crews, the iron workers, like it's any skilled trade. So go listen to Sweat and Grime because it's freaking awesome. Everyone here that's listened to it will attest that it's freaking awesome, and get your friends to listen to that too, because again, I'm not going to take any responsibility for the lack of growth there. I'm going to put that all at your feet because that makes it to where I only have to drink this much at night. I don't have to drink more. There it is. That's my plug. That's my plug. So let's go back to the comments. Back to the comments. Let's see here. Bomber, I got 30 years left till I retire. Should be safe from autonomous. Exactly, Bomber. Don't even sweat it, man. It's not even worth losing any sleep over. Yule, he is running an hydraulic excavator in Panama. That's awesome. We got Hollis, Maine. What's the drink of choice? The drink of choice tonight is one of my all-time favorites. For those of you who have been following for a while now, this is my monkey shoulder scotch. It is delicious. It is off casks from Belvini, Glenlivet, and I think there's one other. I can't remember what the other one is. And it's a really good price. It's a really good price for really nice scotch. What are you guys drinking? Put it in the comments. Let me know. Let's see here. We've got Brandon Culpepper. Sorry I'm late. Had a friend come by from out of state. Brandon, your friend should be logged in and watching as well. Brandon, I hold you personally responsible for all the numbers at this point. Like, I'm shedding everyone's responsibility and laying it at your feet, Brandon. Why have you not grown this thing faster? You need to answer in video format wearing your thong and fishnets. That's the expectation. Let's see here. Oh, we got Hawaii. What's going on, John? Freaking awesome. We got Hawaii in the house. Man, this is awesome. You guys all put where you're from. I know where a lot of you guys are from. We got hello from New Zealand. We got, is it Kieran? Kieran Gray. Thanks for showing up. There's a lot of new faces in here, by the way. Thank you guys, like, genuinely, all silliness aside, genuinely thank you guys for subscribing and coming into the live stream. I genuinely do appreciate it. We have a good time here, and it's totally made possible because you guys show up. So Shane's got 8 years till he retires. There we go. Ryan, I was talking with the foreman Friday morning, and he mentioned that long term I wanted to eventually, and that you mentioned you have long term wanted to be a mainline hoe operator. At the moment, I'm hoping I can get moved to the service crew. It's looking good, Ryan. It's looking good. I mean, I don't want to get your hopes all up for you to be bummed out and get stuck on the restoration crew for another year and a half, but these are the special days that happen that get you moved up the food chain quicker. I'm excited for you, man. I really am. Jackson, well, I mean, robotic mowers, you set up a guide wire so it knows the boundaries of the yard. The problem with that, Jackson, on these big dirt jobs is you'd have wires running all over the place because you've got 10 excavators running instead of just one mower. So that would be, I don't think that's a practical solution for our industry, unfortunately. But, I mean, good thought, though. Thanks for the reminder on the podcast. I keep meaning to download an episode for my drive at 5 a.m., but then you forget, and halfway into the drive you regret it. Well, I tell you, as long as you got a cell phone signal, you can just live stream that bad boy on any of your podcasting platforms. You like that salesmanship? Ooh, I got it down to a science. Let's see here. I'm Josh. I feel like I've learned so much from your videos as well as other channels and videos. It's funny when I'm at work and say something to my boss, coworkers about something I saw, they make fun of me. Saying you learn stuff off of YouTube. You know what, Josh? They can all go suck a big you-know-what, because YouTube is a fantastic way to learn a ton of skills and kind of get outside of the small bubble that your job site is, because that's the other thing you've got to understand is you can watch phenomenal operators on your job site and you can spend a decade doing it. And if that's your world, if that's your little bubble you live in, you could be totally oblivious that 10 miles down the road is an operator that will work circles around everyone else on your crew because he's that much better and he's more innovative at the way he does things. So all that being said, you know what? Thicken that skin up, Josh. I've got your back right here, buddy. You keep watching the videos, keep honing your craft. You focus on you. That's one of the biggest pieces of advice I can give you is you focus on you. You don't need to give a shit about what anyone else says. So there you go. And I appreciate your support, man. I really do. I appreciate the kind words. I appreciate you watching the videos. So Toby, I'm trying to get into engineering operating, specializing in mine shutdowns. That sounds pretty interesting, Toby. That sounds really interesting. I would be curious for you to start a YouTube channel and educate us non-educated people on that subject, because I'd watch. Typical operator laying the blame on everybody else. 100% Shane, that is a lesson I was taught through my process and time in the union. As long as you can find someone to throw under the tracks of your excavator, you should come out on top and you should be all right. And right now, this evening, it is all of, well, now, let's be honest, it's not all of you guys now. We're just throwing Brandon under the tracks of the excavator. So, you know, it happens. Oof, Bomber, Guinness Drought, ooh, or Draught, sorry. Draught Stout. When you combine those, you get Drought. Fun factoid. Yes, I love Guinness. I really do. In fact, you're making me want to go get a Guinness. I bet it's been 6 years since I've had a Guinness. And it's one of those that I really like. I do it in small quantities and then I always forget about it until it's been like 6 or 7 years, and then you go back and go, oh, this is really effing good. So anyway, let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. I do concrete work, but we mainly do all out excavation. We're just gonna go with that. I'm with you, Josh. I got you. One mind, one mind. We got the Canadian, and you know, I bet I could have guessed where you were from, but I do appreciate you specifying, Mr. Canadian. I do, and I appreciate you showing up. I really do. Kieran, I'm jealous. Always wanted to visit Middle Earth. Yes, Middle Earth. Josh is from Pennsylvania. I should specify. We have I'm Josh from Pennsylvania, because right below him is Josh Slabo from Northern Indiana. How are you, Josh? Appreciate you showing up. I really do. Evan, I'll take your word about the scotch being amazing. 8 months sober. Good for you, Evan. You let me know, and I genuinely mean this. If me drinking this beverage on camera causes you any issues, we will shove that baby to the side for the rest of the evening. That is awesome, and I fully want to support you there. That's a feat, man. That's awesome. Oh, Ryan. I'm not rich. I don't have enough data on my cell phone plan to stream the podcast all the time. You know, Ryan, I think that's what we call... you need to reevaluate your resource allocation, and you need to figure out what's important to you. And I'm telling you, as a substantial influencer in this chat room, I should be more important than everything else. And so you should be willing to forego your data plan instead of looking at Timber Vixen and all of the OnlyFans girls, Ryan. You should be streaming Sweat and Grime. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you stop talking to your mom on the phone. I'm not saying you stop FaceTiming your sister occasionally to see how she's doing. But what I am saying is Timber Vixen does not have nearly the sex appeal of my sultry voice coming on the speakers of your car while you're driving down the road at 5 a.m. I mean, can you really argue with me on that? Be honest. Jackson, Josh, tell them to go... beep themselves. There you go, Jackson. He said it. Shane, Brian, what kind of operating skill building things do you do while you're waiting for something to happen downtime on the rig? That's a great question, Shane. I do all sorts of goofy stuff. So, and it depends on the situation too. I've gotten in dozers and excavators that I don't really play as much as I probably should, just because I'm so comfortable in the machines, but I will occasionally stack rocks. I'll reach out there and see. So if there's a dirt clump that's way out there, just continuing to hone in on judging distance and everything, I'll see if I can catch it and split it with one tooth, reaching way out, not going slow, going quick. That way I know exactly where my bucket tip is. That's the goal, is that I go quick out there, and by the time I stab that dirt clump, I'm right in the middle of it without having to ease up to it. So I'll do stuff like that. silly stuff like making little windrows, see if you can, you know, draw things with the teeth of the excavator. On the dozer, you know, sometimes I'll angle my blade and try to shove one specific rock around, especially if it's flat and it doesn't want to move. Those are the ones that are kind of I don't know what just happened. Does your body ever try to choke itself for no reason whatsoever? I don't even know how to explain what just happened. Anyway, so especially if you get like a flat rock, that really takes some skill to keep it right on your blade tip to keep, you know, you've got to have the pressure. And those of you who operate dozer know what I'm talking about. You have to keep your blade tip pressure right in the middle of that rock, or else it's going to shoot off to one side or the other. So that's a good skill that I do to waste some time. Other than that, a lot of it, especially when it comes to the dozer, is seeing how flat I can make things. And so if I'm literally just waiting on trucks and it's an area that I can make flat where I don't need to worry about runoff or anything, I will actually go back and forth and just try to get that sucker as smooth as possible. Only forward passes, because that's dozer skill, right? You can't back drag it. So yeah, what about you, Shane? That's a great question. In fact, all of you guys, that's a great question. What do you guys do to kind of continue to hone your skills while you're waiting for a truck to show up? Stacking rocks is one of the big ones that comes to mind when you're in an excavator, just because that does take a lot of finesse and skill. The Canadian, the tip you just gave for fine grading and excavators just instantly made everything click for me. Pull the stick at a steady rate, then adjust the boom accordingly. Just a different way to explain something that made all the more sense. That's why, so first of all, thank you. I really do appreciate you guys letting me know when I've helped you out, just because it obviously helps me to develop more content if I know I'm kind of resonating with you guys. So thank you. But this is also, I do want to say, this is why I would encourage you guys, don't just follow me. Go follow guys like Shane out there. Go follow other really good operators. You know, Let's Dig 18, Chris over there, go follow him. Because everyone has different ways of not only doing things, but they also have different ways of explaining things. And so there might be, you know, that one tip for you, Mr. Canada, could have really resonated on the excavator side. But when it comes to dozer, you and I may be speaking two different languages, and it's just, you don't understand what I'm talking about. Yet you could go over to Let's Dig's channel, to Chris's channel, and he may say something about grading in the dozer, and you may have that same aha moment that I gave you with the excavator. So that's, I do try to encourage people, follow a variety of channels, follow a variety of educators, and that way you get a lot of different inputs into your brain on how to do things. Because all of those too, the other thing is, you know, Chris may say something that just perfectly complements something that I've said, that when you put the two together, you all of a sudden go, oh, that's what they meant, and it just all clicks together. So let's see here. Ernie, who are some of your favorite operators to watch on YouTube? So he's in here. I mean, Shane is a fantastic, that's how I found Shane, and that's how Shane found me, is I was watching him do underground work, and he's a great operator. He's got very, very good skills. He knows what he's doing. He talks about what he's doing. So I really like watching Shane. I've gotten to where I don't watch a ton of operators. I do still watch some operators. I actually have started branching out, and for a lot of what I view, I get into other fields, and I really try to find guys that are kind of that same skill level in their field. So I cannot for the life of me remember the name of his channel, but Bjarne, BJARNE is his first name, and he does helilogging up in Canada. And he's one of the guys that's out there cutting, and he is unbelievable to watch. He takes down these 8 to 10 foot diameter trees. He will crash 2 or 3 of them into each other and land all 3 of them exactly where he wants them to go. Watching that guy take down trees is unbelievable. The amount of skill, the amount of time you can tell that he has in the field doing that, it is incredible to watch him work. Cutting edge engineering, that's one that I believe it's Ryan Garrett. Ryan, back me up on that. You're the one that also watches Cutting Edge Engineering. He is a millwright. He basically takes busted up parts from equipment where operators like myself have broke them, and yes, thank you, Canadian Bjorn Butler. We're trying to get him on Sweat and Grime, by the way. He is communicating back and forth with us, so I'm really hopeful we can get him on the podcast. I love his channel. I can sit and watch him for hours, watch him work. By the way, Cotton Top is another one, not so much from the chainsaw standpoint, not that he's bad with the chainsaw. I love watching those guys run those God, what is the freaking name of the machine? I just lost it. My God, I can't. Guys, my brain just totally took a brain fart on me. What is the freaking forestry machine? My God, I cannot think of the name. God, that's gonna drive me nuts. I just totally farted out. What is the name? I'm not even gonna do it. You'll catch me in the comments. Anyway, the feller bunchers that those guys run. It is nuts watching those guys run those machines and how skilled they are in dropping those trees. So I watch those guys. But anyway, Curtis at Cutting Edge Engineering. Yes, it is Ryan Garrett that watches him. Watching him take a raw piece of metal and turn it into a piece of equipment is nuts. And it's not like hyper exciting. It's not like watching somebody move dirt by any means, but at the same time, the amount of precision and skill and patience and the vast amount of knowledge the guy has. I was watching one the other night where he was welding a part for I believe it was on a dozer, and it was going to be, I can't remember if it was one of the cylinders or if it, no, I think it was where the blade attached to the machine, I think. And he was talking about the type of welding wire he was using. He was using specifically because it was really good for shock absorption and it wouldn't get stress fractures in it. And like, the more I think about it, like, he has so much knowledge. He has to think about so many different things as he goes into selecting the type of steel he's gonna pick to even base the part out of, what kind of welding wire and how much feed and what his voltage and amperage is gonna be, what kind of gas he's gonna use. When it comes to the actual cutting tools that he uses on his lathe, he's got X amount of different cutting tools themselves, but then the actual tips that he uses in different applications. It's just nuts. That's where I will fully confess, I am a huge nerd, a giant nerd. And so I really love watching someone practice a craft that they have spent thousands of hours mastering. And so all of that to say, this is a super long-winded answer to, I've gotten to where I don't watch as many equipment operators. I've started going into these other industries looking for these guys that just do really, really nice work. And I did, Ryan nailed it. R&R Buildings is another fantastic one. Watching those guys, Framing Beast is another great one. He's a framing guy and absolutely an animal to watch him work. And yet it's quality. He puts a lot of time and effort into what he's doing. It's accurate, and yet at the same time he's moving at 80 miles an hour. It is just, you think about the amount of time he has invested in that skill. It's awesome. It is just awesome to watch. So those are the sort of channels that I watch. Let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Let me scroll back up here because my really long answer has got me way behind in the comments. John Menino, 10 years of experience at 30 years old, thinking of moving to Las Vegas, find more work. Any advice? I don't know what the Vegas market is like. Wages aren't the best in Texas, but I know there's a crap load of work. If you want to move up here to the north in Michigan, I can tell you there's a crap load of work and wages are significantly better than the South, but I honestly don't know what the Vegas scene is like. Josh, absolutely. Evan, 3 months here. Evan doesn't bother me one bit. I don't know what Evan's talking about. Oh, that's right, the boozing. That's right. That's awesome. Congrats, Andrew. 100% Ryan. No offense, Brian, but I'd rather own a house than have unlimited data. You know, you just don't know what you're missing out on, Ryan. That's all I'm going to say. Owning a house, not possible with this inflation. Well, that's coming from the Canadian. And Canada, well, but Ryan, you're up in Canada, aren't you? So, yeah. 90% of my wages going straight towards saving for a house, so I'll make it happen. You know what, Ryan? I wish you the best. Honestly, I do. Because from what I understand, your housing market up there in Canada is fucked up. Let's see here. Yule, what company in Canada are hiring foreigners right now? That's a great question. I have no idea. Ask a Canadian. We have multiple Canadians in here, eh? Jackson, go follow Brian's lawn care and maintenance. My only problem with that, Jackson, is Brian's a little bit of a, you know what I'm gonna say? Nothing at all, because if you can't say something nice, there you go. Upstate New York here, we got Matthew Millard. Thank you for showing up, Matthew. Appreciate it. I heard you mention your podcast. Could you please give the name again? I'm a heavy equipment instructor and always on the lookout for good information coming from the industry. It's called Sweat and Grime, as Ryan generously stated there. Just fair warning, this is Sweat and Grime is geared towards guys in the field, in the seat of a machine, guys on a framing crew. We've got crass jokes, we use language, there's a lot of good information, don't get me wrong. We have a lot of really good conversations about the industry and the trades in general. There's a ton of good stuff there, but I always try to warn people, it's a sit around and drink scotch kind of podcast. It's like all of us sitting around at the shop BS, and that's kind of the feel we're going for, so just go into it eyes wide open there. But yeah, there's really good information. Let's see here. Feller Buncher, Evan. Feller Buncher is the kind of name of the machine. No, I'm looking for the actual manufacturer. I can't think of the effing manufacturer. Hang on just a second. Hang on now. Cotton Top 3. I keep wanting to say Timber Pro, but it's not a Timber Pro. For the life of me, it just totally left my brain, and you're gonna laugh at me when Tiger Cat, sweet Jesus, Brian, Tiger Cat is the name of the manufacturer I was looking for. So yes, watching them run those, if you haven't watched a skilled operator in one of those Feller Bunchers, it is nuts watching how smooth they are on those controls and just how much control they have over those trees as they drop them. Darren, oh my gosh, Darren, fuel stop. Maybe if you would get Rick and Matt Mother Fluffin' Totten on here, your viewer numbers will go up. Touche, Darren. I accept. I'm trying to get Matt on here. We've had Rick on recently. The problem is both of those guys live 20 minutes down the road, and you know, we're doing this and we end at 9 o'clock at night, so it's not, and it's Sunday evening, so it's not the easiest time to make work. That's the only excuse I will give them. That being said, you guys should absolutely reach out and pester both of them, because they listen to you guys a hell of a lot more than they listen to me. Unfortunately, that's kind of like being in a married relationship where your wife doesn't listen to you. She'll listen to everybody else, but she doesn't listen to you. That's the way Matt and Rick are with me. So LJ Nuato Nutu, no, Uata LJ. We're just gonna call you LJ. Or we can refer to you as the best operator in the world. Welcome to the live stream, the best operator in the world. Let us roll out the red carpet for you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Ryan, yeah, the video from CECE that you're talking about, I believe, was welding a trunnion bearing onto a cylinder for a D8. Yes, that's the one. You totally nailed. You took the words right out of my mouth, Ryan. You took it right out of my mouth. I had no idea what I was talking about there. But yes, it is. The amount of knowledge that guy has is absolutely nuts, and that's why I love watching him so much. For the record, I did finally get a hold of Karen, which I believe is his wife, right? Are they married, or I don't know. But anyway, I did finally get a hold of Karen. She said she would talk to Curtis and see if he was interested, and then it's been radio silence. So I would encourage you, again, reach out and encourage them to contact me, because I have reached out again and gotten nothing back. I would love to have Curtis and Karen on to talk to them about their relationship and how they got into this, and you know, kind of what their challenges are as they do the YouTube. Like, there's so many ways we could take that conversation. I think it would be really fun. Not to mention, they both seem like they would be a lot of fun to talk to. They just seem like really cool, down to earth people. So, but that being said, with how big their channel is and how busy his business is, I totally understand that they're probably swamped, and it would be really hard to make that happen, because that call would probably be around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning their time for it to time out for everybody. So anyway, Andrew, yes, Framing Beast is badass. It is freaking awesome. Andrew, did you email me? Who did you email about being on the podcast? Because I don't know that I got an email from you about being on the podcast. Or did I ignore it? Ooh, that's embarrassing. Reach out again, Andrew. Reach out again and we'll see if we can't get you scheduled. And I apologize. I do genuinely apologize, sir. I did not mean to ignore you if I did. But I don't remember getting an email from you about being on the podcast. Yeah. But then again, I couldn't remember Tiger Cat, so that's not saying much. I need to lay off the weed, apparently. Ryan, I think Friday for me was the first day that the foreman really believed I had 4 years of experience. I can't really blame them, because how many 19-year-olds can say they have 4 years of experience? That's the problem with being young in this industry, unfortunately, you got to get past everyone's skepticism, if you will. Jackson, now I want to hear what you were going to say to Brian. My boss thinks that Brian's lawn maintenance is more of a YouTuber than actually doing the work. So Jackson, I have I will say this, I have very limited experience with him. However, the limited experience I have is he wanted to charge me like $150 to talk to him for a half hour. And that was when I emailed him saying, hey, we're starting up a podcast. Can I take you out to lunch and just pick your brain for a minute? Because he's 20 minutes, 30 minutes up the road from me. I mean, he's local. And so I thought, you know, a couple YouTubers could get together and kind of shoot the shit together and trade some knowledge, and I'd buy him lunch. But he wants $150 or whatever for a half hour of his time. And I'm going, dude, no, I'm sorry. No. Now, as far as how much industry experience he has, I mean, the only thing I'll say is that he built his empire somehow. So I'm sure he has some valuable experience, but I'm sure at this stage in the game, he doesn't do any lawn maintenance. I guarantee you he is spending all of his time either in the office or making content is going to be my guess. So let's see here. Ryan placed 2,000 tons of base on Friday with a Case 850 dozer, my man, and a Case TR340, my man. Woo! Well done, Ryan Pearson. And you're using Case equipment. Oh, I love it. I love it. Shane, who else is paying $6.50 a gallon for diesel? I got you beat by $1, Shane, but in the right direction. We're around $5.50, I think, a gallon here in Michigan. But you're in California, Shane. I'm sorry. You know what? You and I are friends. I feel like I can talk to you in full honesty. No one feels sorry for Californians. You guys chose to live out there in a state that charges astronomical prices for everything. So you don't get to play the world's tiniest violin while you're living in one of the most ridiculously overpriced states to live in. Shane, I'm sorry. I love you, my friend. I do. But come out here to Michigan and stop paying exorbitant prices for things like a loaf of bread. I'm just saying. Let's see here. Ryan, if you really want torture, watch Tigran Gertz. That's the one I couldn't remember the name of him. I need to look him up. Tigran Gertz. I need to go watch him because I remember you saying that it was pretty painful, and I want to watch just for the painful aspect now. Because Andrew Camarada is, that one, I can only watch his videos for like 15 minutes before I have to I just have to turn it off because I'm so angry. I'm just like, why would you ever do that? Why? Click, angry, click off. Excuse me, pardon me. Ryan, freedom units only. Come on, man. No one knows what a lead ray is. What is a lead ray? A lead ray of gas. Come on, man. That was one of my complaints about the Hoodig, is all of the stuff is metric. So it's all in kilometers an hour. It's all in liters per hour. So you're trying to figure out what your flow rate is on your auxiliary hydraulics when it's 14 liters per hour. I don't effing know. What? So anyway, yeah, freedom units only. Okay, this is America. This is America. This is America live stream. So you better have your gun sitting in your lap, and you better be using freedom units. And for you American, he even, look at that. I went off on you, Ryan, and you even converted it for us. What a guy. What a guy. No wonder your foreman likes you. Man, solid dude right there. Ernie, I feel old now. I'm 33 with all of you young teens, 20. Ernie, I'm 37. I just turned 37. So you're making me feel old. If that makes you feel younger, there it is. I'm the old man in the room. Well, I take that back. Shane is the old man in the room. Boom! Throwing Shane under the bus. There it is. I love it. The Canadian. Around these parts, K stands for can't afford serious equipment, but maybe I've only had experience with very poorly maintained machines. Never liked them. So that is Case's reputation, unfortunately, and my big complaint with Case is they have done nothing to address that. They really have not done much from a marketing standpoint to address that, and I really feel like they should head on address it. Go play it up as the dinky Case. That's the way they should market it, is they should do a video where you've got a Cat, or you've got a Kobelco, or you've got a Komatsu, and you put it head to head with the can't afford something else dozer, or the can't afford something else excavator, and then you show it actually outperforming it. I think it would be fantastic. I think that would be a great marketing strategy for Case, but unfortunately one of Case's weak points is marketing. So, and I'm trying to help them with that, but they won't effing reach out to me, even though I praise them on this channel. I'm talking to you, Case, directly to you. Reach out. Come on. Anyway, LJ, oh my goodness, you're gonna have to get yourself right on out of here, sir. I'll walk circles around you in a Case machine. There you go. That's legit. Anyway, LJ, he's arrogant too. He would own us with a digger. Okay, LJ, you tell us, LJ. I'm gonna give you shit, man. It's just part of being in here. I'm gonna give you shit until you back it up with something. Okay. The dealership we work with is awesome. Case and Kobelco, that's where it's at. Although Shane's not a fan of Kobelco. I don't remember. Shane, can you refill us in on why you don't like the Kobelco? I forget. Let's see here. I have 20 years of experience with the hydraulic excavator in Panama. That's a lot of experience, man. Love my 50-tonner Kobelco. See, there you go. Okay, we're starting to tap into a similar vein here. Jackson, shameless plug for me. It's a good thing that you didn't end up getting Brian on the podcast, because you actually did get a landscaper on. I talked about how landscaping was good for me. Well, yeah, I agree, Jackson. I would have way rather had you on than Brian, because I really think Brian would have spent 80% of the podcast filleting himself, but that's just the impression I get. I'm just saying. My goodness, it's already 8:30, ladies and gentlemen. Already. Evan coming to bat for Case. How can you say Case is junk? Every brand of machine is so similar nowadays. The only difference is the color of the unit and the dash display. I mean, there are subtle differences, but yeah, you can't really, let's be honest, you cannot bring a shit machine to market in this market. You can't. So yeah, it is really, I do love the people that say, one manufacturer is absolute trash, with the exception of Bobcat. I said it. I'm gonna eat these words one day. Like, Bobcat's gonna come to me and they're gonna be like, we'd love to sponsor your channel, and then they're gonna go back through all of my content where I shit all over Bobcat, and then they're gonna yank the sponsorship offer. So this is gonna come back and bite me in the ass, guys, but I don't like Bobcat. Have I mentioned that? I try to stay subtle about it. Anyway, let's see here. I'll convert our gas price all the way. It would be $6.50, $7.50, $7.56 a gallon. Sweet Jesus, Ryan. My God. Ugh. Ooh. Ernie, you're welcome, my man. You're welcome. And thank you, Shane, for making us all feel younger in here. Oh, and LJ is 69. I don't think so. LJ is a troll. No, I think he's just having a good time. I think he's just in here having a good time, Jackson. And Ryan, don't engage it. He's the kind to measure his dick from behind the ball sack. Well, everyone knows that you start on the back side of your butthole. That's where it really starts, is on the back side, not on the front rim so much as the back side of the butthole, and all the way wrap around the tip. That's the accurate measurement, and that is why I have a 4.5-inch penis. Anyways, nobody talks about Cabelco. Zenan Watts, another new fresh face to the live stream. Welcome, and thank you for hanging out. Nobody talks about Cabelco. You're 100% right, and I don't know why. They make really, really good machines, and they got a lot of features that no other machine has, yet nobody talks about them. Anyway, it's upsetting, isn't it? It's upsetting. I need to make a video of why don't you do need to make a video, Shane, because I want to make a rebuttal video as to why they are awesome, and we can duke it out in rebuttal videos, and it will drive traffic. Ooh, Shane, that's a good idea. In fact, there's a decent chance I just talked to one of the higher ups in Cabelco, like the high ups in Cabelco. There's a decent chance I may get to demo one of their new machines and do a review on it. So we'll see what happens. I was working with Dan Collins at Cabelco, and they are very interested in letting us do a review on one of the new Dash 7 units that they just released. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, love my 210 Cabelco. There you go, Ryan. That's what I'm talking about. I thought this was Sweat and Grime. LJ, no, this is Diesel and Iron. Sweat and Grime is the podcast. This is the live stream, and that's separate from the YouTube channel official. Come on, man, keep it together. Jeez, come on. Is the lever monkey Shane? Yes, right? I don't know. So Cabelco is better than Volvo, which is better than Cat, which is better than Daylight, which is better than... What is Daylight? No one's even heard of Daylight. What is Daylight? Hey, Brandline Gaming, what's going on, man? Good to see you. It's a good thing you didn't call today, because my family just got back into town from being out of town all week, and I would not have answered the phone. I have been in family mode all day because I missed my family all week, so I wouldn't have answered, but I would have appreciated your call. I would have. Anyway, let's see here. Cabelco, Merrick backing us up on the Cabelco. My man, that's what I'm talking about. The Canadian, an overlooked part of picking out what equipment you should get is the support provided in your area. No point in getting a Volvo if the Man, I was on a roll there too, wasn't I? If the nearest dealership is 400 comes away. Canadian, Mr. Canadian. Again, may I remind you, this is a Freedom Units only channel. No one knows what a kilometer is. It's a weird, funky abbreviation for something that represents the length of your forearm or something. I don't know. What is a kilometer? No one knows. But you are 100% right, and that I talk about that a fair amount. As much as I love this machine here and this machine there and this machine here, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. If you got a Saney dealership that is 3 miles down the road from you and they have a tech on site within 20 minutes every time you have an issue, you better be buying Saney equipment. That's all I'm saying. That's a legit fact. Uptime is everything. Doesn't matter the paint color. It doesn't matter how nice the cab is. It's about uptime. So anyway, They can't handle Kobelco. It hurts their mangina. Yes. Yes. Agreed. I think that's what it is. They are, yeah, it's more of the intimidation factor. It scares them off, and so they just don't like it. Bobby, 4.5 inches. Danby, I didn't know you were packing a hog like that. Mad respect. You know, I try not to brag, Bobby, because it just makes people not like you, but I mean, don't make me throw it down. I mean, I could whip it out and throw it down here. I might have to squat to get it down a little bit on the table. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. So, Zenon Watts, there's no bad name brand of machine. All do the same stuff. Just buy what your nearest dealer has. Yeah, I mean, the only rebuttal to that is there are some nicer cabs. There are some with nicer features, you know, and there's that aspect. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's whoever can keep you up. That kind of sounded sexual, didn't it? I'm sorry, I'm still a child at heart. I really am. If you haven't figured that out by listening to Sweat and Grime, let me put it this way, I'm in charge of the sound effects. That's all the information you need as to know my mental age right now. Anyway, 400 kilometers is 248.548 miles. You know what? Had that been an even 248 miles, I would have said go for it. But god damn it, that 0.548 miles really, it's too far. In Panama, excavator 300. Oh, okay, you're listing you're listing model numbers, Yule. I thought for a second you were doing a conversion with miles or something. So 320, 324, 330, 336, 345, 375, 390, and a Volvo 460. You got some older models in there along with some newer models. I like it. I like it. Getting a new 350 this week. A new Kobelco 350, Shane. Yes, exactly. The diesel and iron multiverse. So that's actually a thought that I've had eventually, is this thing morphs into almost like its own TV station. So diesel and iron, you'll come in Monday and you'll have down and dirties, and Tuesdays would be equipment review Tuesday, and Wednesday is vlog Wednesday, and you know, maybe we put Rick on or Matt or one of you guys, or maybe it's subscriber showcase Thursday where we get one of your videos. But that is a thought that I've had, is what if you could turn the channel into its own true channel where each day of the week you had a different kind of content. Well, we're light years away from that being a reality, but that is an interesting idea. Interesting idea, yes. That new spider excavator video. Dude, those spider excavators are nuts. That's a whole other machine. So I just reviewed the Hoodig, and I'm working on that footage, by the way. That video, the review, the official review video of the Hoodig should drop, I'm gonna guess, in about 2 to 3 weeks. By the time we get all of the footage from Hoodig that I need to complete it, and Isaac does his stuff, and I can remaster the audio and all of the work that goes in. This is, by the way, this is gonna be a 40-minute long video, guys. I legitimately did a full-on review. So it has been a phenomenal amount of work in the background. But I would love to do a review and play with one of those spider excavators. Those things are freaking awesome. Let's see here. LJ, US metric system is weird. Why is it weird? You don't want to have to pull out a scientific calculator to convert from ounces to pounds, and then from fluid ounces to gallons to teaspoons? I mean, I don't see why that's weird. Makes total sense. Total sense. Bananas. That's, again, we've had this conversation. We need to just all convert to the banana scale. Everyone would be on the same page. It's 8 bananas. That's 367 bananas long. We've all got a good feel for how many bananas that is. Yeah, daylight, exactly. Thank you, yes. Yule, Lee Bear 9100 mining. Are we just doing machine Tourette's now, where we just throw out machine? All right, everybody, machine Tourette's. Just throw out a random machine name and model, and let's go happy, because I have no idea. Lee Bear 9100. What are we talking about? I'm so lost now in the comments as to what Lee Bear 9100 is referencing. Rashad, just saw you at the very bottom of the comments. Thanks for showing up, man. I appreciate it. Good to see you, man. Let's see here, Jackson. Brian, if you really wanted to drive more traffic to the channel, make a video about how much you hate JCB backhoes. I have to be careful with those, Jackson, just because I don't want to burn any potential, not even sponsorship opportunities, more review opportunities. I can't really shit all over somebody and then approach them and say, hey, we'd like to review your stuff. They're never going to pitch it to me because they know I already hate it. Now, would they rise to the challenge? That would be pretty good. But anyway, let's see here. I don't think I could go with Saney no matter how convenient. The only good thing I had to say about the one I ran is it had a working radio. So we were in talks with guys from Saney down in Orlando about possibly reviewing one of their machines. It is amazing to me how quickly they went radio silent when we were no longer right in front of them. So maybe one day I will get to review a Saney. I don't know. We'll see. Andrew, a KM is probably 1,000 meters, so roughly like 3,200 feet. So 400 kilometers is like 1.2 million feet. See, now that we've converted over to easy to understand measurements, 1.2 million feet, like we automatically know roughly how long that is. And that's the beauty of the standard system. The imperial system just rocks when it comes to measurements, because we very quickly took a unit of measurement that no one knows what it is. Let's be honest, nobody knows what a kilometer is, and you've now converted it over to 1.2 million of my feet. I know exactly how long that is now. Volvo cabs and cat cabs. I will agree with you, LJ. The Volvo and cat cabs are pretty stinking nice. The Canadian, by daylight, they might mean a hydrovac truck. Hydrovacing is awful. Oh, really? I didn't realize that is referred to as daylighting. Huh. I learned, again, why I love this industry. I totally learned something new. I had no idea that hydro excavating was referred to as daylighting. Interesting. G'day, mate. What's the poison? Who are you referring to, LJ? You've been in here for like at least 30 minutes. Ryan, a 40-minute diesel and iron video. I don't know if I can contain myself. Well, you know what? You put on your little jizz napkin there in your pants so you don't make a mess. And you strap in, buddy, because I've got one headed your way. You got it. Dear 50D, there we go. Here we go. We got machine Tourette's. Here we go. We got Dear 50D. We got the Cat 6015. We got the Cat 308. We got the Volvo EC 300LR. We got the Cat 325. Cobelco SK500. Man, nailed it. That was an excellent round of machine Tourette's, everyone. Well done. The Canadian. Yeah, you shouldn't shit on them, but I think there's constructive way for reviews like they do X well, but I wish they improved on Y, so you aren't burning a bridge. That's not good for business. Yeah, like Bobcat. You know, they make an excavator really well. Now, if they could just make it work really well, it would be a good machine. Because that's kind of the idea you were going for, right? All this math is killing me. Ernie, that's it, man. Math all the way. I'd be working with my drone on sites minus the GoPro for now that you use. Okay, let me back up here. I will be working with my drone on sites minus the GoPro for now that you use, and would love to contribute for Fook Nut Fridays videos, measuring my eggplant in tenths. That's nice. I do like the idea of a measuring contest in tenths, because then you really like that would be pretty interesting. So yeah, that would be interesting to throw the numbers up in tenths, because now you actually have to do math. I love the dynamics behind this, because think about it. We all throw eggplant sizes up in tenths of a foot. But that means in order to actually get the inches measurement, you would have to do the math. But if you do the math, what does that say about you? Because you just spent several cycles of your brain power doing math to figure out how long another man's eggplant is. The complexity of the dynamics there, I actually love that idea. That is a fantastic idea. That's beautiful. That's absolute beautiful. American imperial scum, 100%. And the beauty of America is we will make you all learn our system because we are too lazy to learn anyone else's. That's why the universal language when it comes to any maritime stuff, anything in the air, any formal method of communication, the standard language is what? It's not Spanish, which is the most popular spoken language on the globe. It's American English because we're fat and we're lazy and we're not gonna go learn your goddamn weird foreign talk, okay? So you need to learn how to speak English like a normal human being, and then you need to learn how to use inches and feet and then mile units that we use, okay? Not any of them kilometers or centimeters or millimeters. What the hell is that? That's America. Love it. Still oh, you got the Steel FS91R. Is that a chainsaw, leaf blower, or weed trimmer there, Jackson? Ah, delicious. Shane, we have one of those SK500s on the job as well as an four SK350s. I'm the only one in the John Deere, which is an 870G. You got some good sized machines on that job, Shane. We're transitioning from making fun of backhoes to making 100 measurement conversations every Sunday. You know what, Ryan? You got to adapt. You got to react and readapt. That's what you got to do. Brandon, Cat 262D, my man, working that skid. Poison equals drink. Yeah, but we've already talked about my poison. Weren't you here for that portion of it, LJ? I thought you were. I am drinking Monkey Shoulder, which is a type of scotch. One of the best types of scotches. You can't beat the price. Oh, and do you like that? Ooh, Great All. Yeah, Great All. Also, they make the Vacol hydro excavator. I got that specifically from them. That's what I'm talking about. The Steel MS250. Oh, you got that auctioneer voice almost for Machine Tourette's. You know, a little more practice, Rashad. We'll try to do the Machine Tourette's a little more frequently, and I'll continue to work on that auctioneer voice. You know, it's funny though. Auctioneer voices. It's always sounded like they say gibberish. Turns out they are actually saying gibberish. So auctioneers practice the skill of saying a bunch of gibberish really fast and then saying the pricing. So they'll mix in real words with gibberish. I don't know if you guys knew that. I never knew that and until like 5 or 6 years ago. And then I was watching a deal on auctioneers, and it is legitimately, they are just making up words in between the words that they speak, and it adds pressure and it adds to the intensity of the auction, which causes people to bid more because they feel that pressure. It's pretty interesting. So anyway, Zanan, is it Zainan or Zanan, or how do you even pronounce it? I'm sorry, I'm not good at this. But anyway, I was supposed to buy a Bandit 250 XP today. Dude is busy, so I guess it'll be tomorrow. I hate rescheduling. I own a tree company. It's bad enough with it. It's other people. So what is the 250 XP? Is that a stump grinder, or what are you buying? A Bandit tells me it's either a stump grinder or a chipper. Sorry, can't talk. Bobcat can really paint. Oh, you left the T off. Bobcat can really paint their excavators. I mean, look at it. It's painted. Now, about the excavator part. Exactly, Canadian. Exactly. That is the Bobcat review right there. Now, if we could do away with the whole excavator and put that paint on a different excavator, Bobcat would make a really solid machine. Unfortunately, they chose to put it on their excavator, and that is its shortcoming. I feel like that's a fairly unbiased review. That sounded like an Andrew video. One video he said, if this shed was painted, it would look like it was just painted. That guy is, I don't know. I don't even know what to make out of that guy. I'm being 100% serious about the OnlyFans. Who here would subscribe? Jackson and Brandon is a given. So what is the OnlyFans, Andrew? You still didn't answer. Is it going to be like a girl in the cab in the nude, or is it just a girl in the cab operating? Like, I don't understand. Oh, Echo PB 9010T. It's a trimmer. So the first one was a trimmer. Still MS steel. Steel, not still. Come on now, Andrew. STIHL. It's still. MS250C. Ernie Fisker hand shears. My man taking it away with Fisker. Whew, pulling out the big guns. The big guns. Because it's the Fiskers, baby. And they are mechanical. It said Zenon, but I spelled it Zenon. Well, there you go. Zenon. Zenon watts. Cat 980. Ooh, that's a nice loader. Ooh. Xmark Turf Tracer 36-inch mower. Walk S Series Kawasaki 603cc engine. Ooh. All right, I don't even know why we're still doing machine treads. This has been an interesting live stream. 10 minutes, by the way, guys. 10 minutes, and we're gonna wrap this up. Shout out to my man Brian, aka Diesel and Iron Sport, and share this man for all the information and entertainment he gives. Cheers. I appreciate that. I really do. Although I'm not giving out really good information this evening. We're just doing machine Tourette's and talking about banana measurements and how we're going to use that to measure our Johnsons. You know, I wouldn't use tonight's live stream as the shining example of why people need to pitch my stuff. That's I think we can all agree on that. Zenon, a Bandit 250 XP 12-inch disc chipper. 142-inch Cummins. That's a good sized chipper. Dang, that would be fun to play with. That would legitimately be fun to play with. I would honestly give Bobcat a chance now that it's all Doosan parts. The problem is it's still a Bobcat, and yeah, I don't see a substantial change in the overall functionality of that machine. It's too loud, it's too jerky, it doesn't have enough power. Oh my goodness, that was here. Look at me trying to do an official shit on Bobcat, and I interrupt myself by belching. That is the professionalism that Diesel and Iron brings to the table right there. I'm going to give you an unbiased review of your terrible equipment and belch in the middle of it. Share away, ladies and gentlemen, share away. Look at what the world is missing. Oh, let's see here. Andrew, you are a lost puppy. That's I thought it would be obvious, but the OnlyFans elevator pitch is hose operating hose. That's pretty good. LJ, I can't say that I do in the cab. Subbed, when is the next live stream? So all of my live streams then are Sunday nights at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I would say we hit that goal probably 80% of the time that we're able to live stream consistently every Sunday. But I do travel, especially now that we're getting into the work season. I start to travel. I do get caught up on jobs. There's just various life things that come up. But yeah, for the most part, it's almost every Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be here live. So anyway, perfection, Canadian, perfection. Yes, that's nice. My eggplant is 36 feet and 12 tenths. That just messed with my mind, but that is an extremely long eggplant. That might be a Guinness World Record breaking eggplant. That's pretty good eggplant. 21-inch 3-in-1 variable speed gas walk behind self-propelled lawnmower with auto choke. Auto choke, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh, Jackson has raised the bar. Oh, delicious. I know someone wants to see my girl ride an excavator joystick. My goodness, we're getting spicy this evening, Mr. Ruggiero. This is getting very spicy. But I am kind of shocked that content isn't already out there. Someone riding an excavator joystick. That seems to me like it would be somewhere on Pornhub. Yeah, you would think at this point in time. Or just on Timber Vixen's on Timber Vixen's Instagram. I don't know. She does put that kind of content out there. So I would absolutely use this video to advertise the live stream. Who here didn't have a good time? You know what? That's what she said. Oh, nailed it. Love it. Love it. I'm glad you guys are having a good time, because so you have to remember, this is the best part of this. This is the best part of this that you guys on your side of the screen forget. I am sitting in the middle of a room in the basement, and this behind me looks all polished. But in front of me, I have a camera. I have this giant light blaring in my face. I have microphones everywhere. I have soundproofing stuff. Like this is a shady basement room. And so I'm sitting here in my shady basement room. It looks like I'm running an OnlyFans channel because it's just the camera. Like, this isn't you that I'm pointing at. I'm pointing to a camera and this huge light, and I'm sitting here talking to myself. So while you guys are having a great time because this all looks really produced and looks really nice for you, I'm talking to myself in the middle of my basement like a weird psychopath. Keep it in mind. Keep it in mind. Anyway, let's see here. You don't like Andrew. I think he's awesome. I'm ashamed to share a name with him, Bobby. Ooh, things are getting even spicier. What chick is riding the joystick? I'm down to watch. Well, you got Brandon and Jackson both really interested. Here we go. It's taking off for you. Andrew hates Andrew, but it's just a thing. His videos are like watching a train wreck you don't want to watch, but you can't look away. Yeah, that's the Andrew Camerata. That is the best way to describe it. You know you're gonna walk away from the video angry. You know it in your heart. Yet you still have to watch, and you still get angry. Knowing full on that you're about to get furious, you still find yourself getting furious, and you angrily have to click off the channel. And you know what? I can tell you it's a step further as a YouTube content creator, because not only do I angrily click off the video, I look at his subscriber count and his view count, and that blows me through the roof, because here I am trying to put out quality content. I'm trying to teach guys how to get into the trades with actual skills, and we're, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm very excited about my 21,000 subscribers, but at the same time, when you compare it to Andrew Camerata, who is over there trying to freaking torch a gas tank off of a hydrogen fuel cell vehicle, because why not? And he's got 800 billion views off of that. As a YouTube content creator, you're just like, fuck this, I'm out. Like, that's the only thing you have to say. So you're like 10 times more angry when you click off of his video as a YouTube content creator. That is Andrew in a nutshell. Anyway. Brandon, I paid $15. I'll send it to you. I'll sub Andrew. How much? There it is. See, you've already got an audience there. LJ, she can ride my joystick anytime. Oh, Brandon. Okay, Andrew. Private med, y'all wild. I don't know how much yet. I'm setting it up tonight. Oh my goodness, you guys are going. You guys are really going into this. After all of this, ladies and gentlemen, with 3 minutes left, Ali Turkman has just joined the live stream, having no idea what's been happening up to this point, and he has a legitimate question. So I am going to apologize for the circus that has been happening up until this point. And Ali, we're going to flip into serious. I am going to give you a real answer mode. What's the highest paying job in construction? I would say most likely you're going to probably be the owner of the dirt company or a superintendent. Outside of those positions, if you're talking a sheer operating position, I would say get into hoisting and become a crane operator doing the super heavy lifts with the giant crawler cranes. There you go. There's your answer. If you're talking just a position in construction, yeah, you're probably, outside of owning your own company, probably either a superintendent or a project manager is going to want to just... I can't talk, guys. Apparently my brain just shut right down. We need to go back to circus mode, because clearly being serious mode isn't working for me. But in all honesty, outside of owning a company, superintendent or project manager is probably going to be the highest paid position you're going to get into. So, Jackson, let's all face it. We all have ADHD or some sort of disability. Talking about random pieces of equipment. Love it. This is good. This is good. Ryan, that Instagram video your wife took last week during the live stream looks so awkward. I didn't even watch it, in all honesty. I need now you have my interest peaked and I need to go watch it. When she does that sort of stuff, I don't realize she's doing it. I mean, I see her there floating around, but I don't actually go watch any of it. Now I need to go watch it. I have to go see that. Tower crane. So Shane's guess is tower crane operator. That's a good guess. I bet they make pretty good bank too, but honestly, I would think some of the heavy lift guys are gonna make more than those guys. LJ, I would make you look like a greenie. Now, when you say greenie, LJ, are you talking those like those dog bones that are supposed to brush your dog's teeth? Because those are called greenies, and that's what I envision when you say you're gonna make him look like a greenie. Brian, do you watch Stanley the Dirt Monkey? No, he makes me angry, and it's just because he 100% is all about clickbaitness. And I'm not a fan of clickbaitness, and he is very clickbaity. Look at you guys putting the line in for me. Oh my God, I didn't even have to ask. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time to wrap this baby up. And my wonderful subscribers, I'm so proud of you guys. You've already put the line in the comments without me even having to ask. I mean, just, oh, I love it. I love this community that we have going here. It's so good. Anyway. There's another one that makes, exactly, Ryan. He makes my blood boil too. Yes, absolutely. Oh, and Ryan, I just looked up. We have popped Ryan Wagner's cherry with Timber Vixen. And so we all know Ryan is going to have a very late night tonight, and he's going to be walking a little gingerly tomorrow because he has rubbed all of the flesh off of his eggplant. So Ryan, you're welcome. I'm glad that the Diesel and Iron channel could make this wonderful life moment possible for you. We really do pride ourselves on educating here on the Diesel and Iron channel, and sometimes education takes the form of showing you some provocative Instagram accounts, and Jackson will be happy to point you at a handful of others along with Brandon Culpepper, although fair warning, Brandon Culpepper might get you sort of off the beaten path into tranny territory. I don't know. I don't ask questions when it comes to Mr. Culpepper. None of us really do. We don't know what Brandon gets up to in his promiscuous time, and it's best, we've all learned, to just not ask. So that being said, let's see here. Yeah, I think we're at the line. We're at the line, ladies and gentlemen. And I agree. I just noticed at the very bottom here, Wrangle Star, or whatever his name is. So I watched a handful of his videos back in the day when he was like truly just doing like the homesteader thing, and I thought it was kind of interesting, but he was weird. He always struck me as a weird dude, like really weird. Anyway, that being said, we're out, guys. Like, it's 9 o'clock. It's 9:02. Sweet Jesus. You guys have yourselves a lovely week. It has been a blast. I will say we have had an absolute awesome time in here this evening. Nothing. We answered one real legit question, and the rest of it has been absolute fookery. But this has genuinely been a fun live stream. So thank you guys so much for showing up. I really do appreciate it. I really do appreciate all the support. Ryan, go download a Sweat and Grime episode before you forget, my man, so that we can keep you company in the car tomorrow. And with that being said, I'm going to go spend time with my lovely wife. You guys have yourselves a great evening, and we will catch you guys next week. I got to think about it. Yes, we will be live next week on the live stream. We'll catch you guys then.